YouTube, you guys are good. We are up and running. Part 2 of our hotline of the day. Let me get this guy up. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Tiffany. How are you? I saw your little profile picture up in the top right-hand corner. Hi, how are you? Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. I signed on earlier, stopped for an hour reading, and then came back. And I don't know if you've been feeling like this too, Tiffany, but so many of the conversations that I've been having with people or just noticing is like how much we're having to go back to basics of confidence, self-love, like a lot of the conversations and the ways that we thought we were progressing as a society with all of these ages. Hi, Jules. Yay, you're back in the US. Oh my God, thank God. I noticed the context clues on Instagram, but I'm glad you're closer than Korea. Yay. Are you, text me if you're gonna be home soon. But yeah, a lot of the things that we thought we were gonna be talking about in helping people. Oh, good. Okay, 2 weeks. That's so soon. Oh my God. Okay, good. In terms of progressing, a lot of conversations I've been having with people right now have been around like, which is always a thing, right? But self-confidence and being able to stand in, you know, making choices and feeling confident enough that even if you make the wrong decision, you made the best one that you could have at a time, you know, and it can be just as simple as like the bad decision of like choosing a heavier weight than you realize that you could lift at the gym. So you have to drop down and scale back to be able to do proper reps to work your way up. Hi, Chelsea. To work your way up to that rep. And like decisiveness being a really big thing. So, you know, if there's any questions around that, feel free to ask them or to talk about that. But I've been noticing a lot of that, a lot of people feeling anxiety around feeling like they're making the wrong decision. And I think a lot of that has to do, a lot of that has to do with people being afraid to be exhausted in the pursuit of doing something that makes them happy. So I don't know if you guys, the few people that I have here right now as we're getting started, the second phase for the next hour or so that I'm on, if that feels like it's kind of been relevant for you guys, but I've been noticing that a lot. Like we're really having to go back to the energetic basics of things. There was also something I was gonna say, Chelsea, that was, if you were on today, related to the pop call text that you sent me. Oh, I actually think I can look at it on my computer, and that'll remind me. But if you guys want me to do a personal reading for you, I do have a link in my bio of both my YouTube and my TikTok here. It's $15 US for 10 minutes, and I send you a recording that we have on YouTube after the 10 minutes is over. But I'll be on for the next hour regardless, talking to you guys. If you have any questions, I always say this is a time for me to talk with you. But if you have specific questions about your chart, just make sure that you book for that at the TikTok reading link in my bio. And while I'm pulling up the pop call archive right now so I could take a look, Chelsea, as I answer Tiffany, kind of holding myself accountable in regards to how I show up to help the people I do help. Yeah, absolutely. And you feel like somebody to me who's like, yeah, when to pull back and just let it be. Absolutely. Like, were you also raised in an environment, and I know that Chelsea can relate to this too, where your family or people, like in your whoever you were around when you grew up, even if it was your family, they were people who made you feel guilty for not prioritizing them, even if they didn't prioritize you, and that repeated into adulthood? Feel this guy slipping. I sit on a heated blanket because I always run so cold. Hi, E. Welcome, welcome. They still act that way. Yeah. Do you have the 4037 channel too? That's activated right now. Oh, I guess my question, Chelsea, too, to what we were talking about earlier, like, what I was going to say is defining what confrontation means to you and the different layers of confrontation is also something that I wanted to say, but I hopped on live. I hopped on live and then I had my hour reading and then I'm back here again. Yeah, sounds good. We have the 4037 channel activated right now regardless, so we're noticing a lot of themes on like choosing who we want to be around, chosen family, all that kind of stuff. So a lot of like figuring out who's in our inner circle is very relevant right now. And if there's people who we notice, like Chelsea and I were talking about earlier, like confrontation, and specifically in your question, Chelsea, when it came to like Jupiter, if we're gonna be like getting in trouble. Yeah, okay, I'm one to ghost sometimes if I feel like it's not worth it. I am too. I'm an Aquarius Mars. Like, I absolutely am. Like, if I know that this conversation, and also like going on your intuition too, like there are people who love to say that like ghosting in that way is bad because it like it's, you know, I know that I've won if the other person's ghosted me because they see me as like too much of a opponent or like an op that's gonna win. And for me, it's like I am 32 years old, right? Like if there is another adult in my life that hasn't learned certain things by this point in time, like I am not going to, it's not my responsibility to teach this person how to act if it's a relationship that I don't see worthy of repairing. But I think the biggest goal is to decide, like, is this relationship one that I care to repair? And that answer may change. You may have like, you know, for a month that you actually want to try, and then a month later that changes. Hi Jax, how are you? How is everything in your corner of the world? Work, home, 10 out of 10, 5 out of 10. What's the sliding scale? It's nice to see you. I saw a TikTok about the place we were talking about. For work for you on a TikTok today, and I brought it to the forefront of my mind. But yeah, I think ghosting is such a specific, like, it's very situationally dependent, and understanding like the levels. You know, I don't always find that I have the personal bandwidth to have like a finality text message with somebody. And I also know that like certain people are very hypersensitive. You know, it depends on the person that you're dealing with too. Yes, even more so. I noticed it more so for most people. It was the reading I just had. Fighting off a cold. Yeah, I hope you feel better. I know I was supposed to see my uncle tomorrow. We were supposed to go over his house for the Super Bowl, my aunt and uncle's house. And he just got so sick. Whatever that crazy virus that's going around in the Northeast. But he's also he's a principal of a Catholic school, so that'll do it. But yeah, the 4037 channel, it's where our north and south node is. So our north node, gate 37, gate of community, friendship, chosen family, south node, gate 40, and finding that gate of aloneness. Hi Leticia, how are you? Hi Tozier. Bad Bunny. So I saw a video today that made some really good points about him being an industry plant, but I actually like the advocacy work that he's done for Puerto Rico. So even if he's an industry plant, at least like there has been some benefit in Puerto Rico for people. You know, I was having this conversation on my YouTube live yesterday because both my sister-in-laws live in Puerto Rico. So they have given the firsthand response that at least there's a little bit more of proper government assistance in that area of the world, you know, directly in relation to the influx of tourism that happened with Bad Bunny performing there. So, but yeah, it's really interesting to kind of see that. It was interesting to see that video this morning. There's a woman who does kind of like those kinds of celebrity commentary, celebrity exposés that I tune into every once in a while. I want to say she has dark hair. She sounds like she's from either Chicago or the Northeast somewhere. It's like something human is her last name. Now that I've said it, it'll pop up on your For You page. But, you know, I don't work in the arts and music industry in New York City anymore for some of those types of reasons, because there are some things that I saw firsthand that I didn't want to be a part of. So I know enough to know that it exists, but nothing as crazy as some of the crazier things that have been in the I wasn't close enough to be you know, CC'd on any suspicious emails is what I'll say, or at any particular parties, you know. So but just enough where it's like, oh, like there's a lot of people doing a lot of slimy things in the world, no matter what industry that you're in. But a lot of what I've been talking about through the lens of astrology as well is that just being really aware of like who you pay attention to, what you listen to, like just what you're consuming on any level, you know, and that includes media, music, vocabulary, you know, what we say. It's like very important, you know, make sure you know. There's like, I had this conversation with somebody that sent me a DM and like not believing everything that people says. Like people get up and film content every day and just lie. They lie about how much money they make, because even if it's in a spiritual discipline, you know, like, so it's like really using your personal discernment. If something feels uncomfortable, even if it's not that that person is specifically lied, it's just that's a physical indicator that you don't align with that person that you're following, or you know, something about what they're trying to sell you doesn't feel off. And that's like the age-old debate and question of like, is it my anxiety or is it your intuition? Sometimes it's both. As a, you know, chronically anxious person historically, a lot less so now. You know, I've also been debating that myself, because I'm also a human too. Yeah, Chelsea, that's not immune to any of the things that are going on right now. And yeah, I'm on an unfollowing spree, Jax, exactly. Yeah, like I just like, oh, Ty, okay, cool, I see you here. Just noticing a lot of things, and what I keep going back to, and I said this earlier when I hopped on earlier today, is like growing up we used to have, and let me see, Ty, if you're also okay, so we're not that far apart in age. We used to have to go to a computer room. Hello. We used to have to go to a computer room to interact with the computer, right? Like, no, you couldn't be on the phone and also like on the computer looking something up on the internet at the same time. And that's where like all of these, if you guys have been on that kind of trends with like the analog trend, you know, we're just have to be conscious of what we're consuming. So let me pause for a moment here as I am bringing up Ty's chart. My my nan was from Tulsa, so I've actually been to Tulsa. Only twice, but I have been to your corner of the world. Which is funny. And then we will pivot over to you in 3 minutes. But yeah, it's a lot of just like choosing what you're watching, choosing who you're surrounding yourself with. Like, it's okay. Like, there's a lot of like the online vocabulary words that will use the word like, oh, you're gatekeeping, but it's like, maybe you have to gatekeep yourself a little bit more. Maybe you have to, you know that not everything is meant for public consumption all the time. For an audience that just wants to be nosy, like, you're not, you know, it's not actually helpful for them to know certain things about you. Okay, yay, Tiffany. Yeah. Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Okay, so, and Ty, you'll also get a recording. I'll send you a recording of your human design reading. So let's see. I'll start like a little bit. Okay, nice. Yay. I'll start a little bit early with you here. I had a feeling that you were going to be a lovely projector, because you do have really powerful energy, which I'm sure you know already, especially as a beautiful July 2nd baby. And we are at the 13:30 minute mark here, so Ty. Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, Ty, as I'm starting here, how much do you know about human design already? Like, are you more from the astrology vein? Like, where, how comfortable do you feel? Because that'll let me know. Yes, my projectors. I always say, even though I'm a man gen, I get projectors are my most common. You guys are my biggest group in Patreon, because we have that synastry. Very little. Okay, that's perfect. So I'll show you. And let me make sure that I'm sharing my screen on YouTube so you guys can see what I'm looking at simultaneously. Okay, there we go. Before I flip my screen, and then I'll flip back for a second. So one of the best ways, especially for my astrology folks that know about astrology but don't know about human design, the first place I always tell you to look is at your personality side. So I'm going to go a little bit deeper before I turn back around again and cover some of more of the broader strokes of your human design, Ty. But when we look at all these numbers that are in these little black squares or rectangles, and then these red numbers, they define your energy centers, or basically the way that energy flows through your chakras. So human design is a study of your aura. It's the way that your energy interacts with the world. And what I like to say, especially for my people that grew up in like an area where it's maybe particularly religious, it's like this is what our life's purpose, what we came here to do. If you believe in God, it's like just a little bit more of that kind of extra aspect of how we can understand what our life purpose is. So any of these numbers are called the gates in human design. And anything that you see here is the specific gate that represents both the zodiac sign and the specific 5-degree window or specific degree of your sun sign. So whenever I see gate 39 right next to the sun icon here, I know that that person is a Cancer sun. And that you have, Cancer, like Gemini, gate 52, Cancer moon cusp? I forgot gate 52 off the top of my head. You'll know if you know astrology. Gemini, Mercury, Leo, Venus, Leo, Mars, so on and so forth. Hola, Juan. So that's what we kind of see going down the line here. Now, coming back out again as I flip over my screen here so that we can talk, because when I'm doing these, hi, Josh, on YouTube, since I'm recording your body graph, I like to be able to talk to you more personally. The first place we always start when we're looking at your human design is your energy type. So with you being a projector, you only make up about like 20 to 21% of the population, which puts you in a more rare category. Now, in human design, there's one of 5 energy types that you can be, similar to how we can have one of the 12 signs of the zodiac, that's your sun sign. So when we're looking at one of the 5 energy types, there's 2 camps. One is the sacrals, which are people who are very somatic. They're the ones that have a lot more industrious energy. And then there's folks like you, like Josh, hello Josh, that are projectors like Jacqueline here, who are the non-sacrals. So I say for you guys, you're spiritual beings that have to remind yourself how to like interact with your human vessel in the 3D in real life. Whereas my fellow generators and manifesting generators were like, oh yeah, we're humans, but we're also supposed to have a spiritual experience too. So just kind of having that mindset, I've used that a lot. I've been reading charts for 10 years, and I've coined that because I find it like kind of the most like psychosomatic, the best psychosomatic descriptor of what it feels like to be a projector, because you are somebody that's spiritual. It's like, oh yeah, my body does need to rest and I shouldn't push myself. And a lot of, do you do psychic readings or anything like that? Because you kind of give me like the vibe of being a psychic intuitive. I didn't click on your profile, but I will now that I said it. But yeah, it's so funny. I love that. But yeah, I obviously can't see too much from your profile right now, but you have a lot of openness. I don't, yeah, you could if you wanted to. You could if you wanted to. A lot of your aspects of your chart is keeping your circle small, and that there actually is what we call your profile in human design. It's called the 2-4 profile. So being okay with people having, similar to what I said actually probably while you were booking, which maybe that resonated with you, is like people having like gatekeeping yourself, having a little bit of more of that, people, it's okay to have a barrier to entry. You don't have to get super close to people really quickly. And it probably, I feel like as we get older, we learn that a little bit the hard way. And knowing that like, okay, like how am I flexing that muscle? One of the things that we look at, so we look at your energy type first, you being a projector, I want you to focus on monetizing your intellectual property in some capacity. Hi, Ellington, how are you? Monetizing your intellectual property. How can you get paid to, especially because work is such a big thing that people come to me for, to sort out problems that you can identify really easily, but maybe you bring people to the party, but you don't have to be the one that physically goes in to fix it. So that could be like an accountant. If you really like numbers, you're the person that reports like misuse of funds at a, not-for-profit, things along those lines. Hi, Chelsea, welcome back. Hi, Elman, thank you. Things along those lines that can be helpful. If you can do remote work, or if you are in a place that allows you to sit and have that kind of awareness of the mind-body connection, that can be helpful. 2 vocabulary words I also want to tell you about in human design is something called your signature and your not self theme. Your signature is the vocabulary word that we're looking at when we kind of want to identify like what's the bullet point that you're trying to hit for multiple points throughout the day, and that's known as success. So thank you, Jax. What is it that makes you feel successful? The way that you know you're going in the wrong direction, Ty, is that you start to feel bitterness or resentment or like resentful. And people always ask me like, well, how do I never feel bitterness and resentment again? And you're not supposed to like create a total, you're supposed to feel that at certain points every day, because it's a little litmus test that says like, hey, I'm going in the wrong direction. How do I course correct here? And ask myself in this moment when I'm feeling bitterness, like, what do I need to do to feel successful? Do I feel bitter because somebody's asking too much of me? How do I bring awareness to, and all my hi Faith, all my fellow projectors in the chat, liking it too, but like, how do I go back to that? You have a lot of that like provocative energy about you. Your greatest gift, your biggest gate is the type of sun gate that you have in human design. Hi, gorgeous. And it's gate 39, which is the gate of provocation. So that's how, like, you know how to, you actually would make a really good comedian. For that reason, a lot of comedians that I've noticed like have kind of like gate 39 energy. I don't know if they all have like gate 39. I want to say that Marcelo Hernandez does, if you follow like SNL and his vein. But like that kind of, even when you don't mean to, people are paying attention to you. I feel like that probably also leans into the way that you were raised. It almost can moonlight as like, okay, any press is good press, but maybe as you kind of are getting to a point in your life where you're like, I don't really want to be known for the negative aspects, but I'm ready to be known for the positive. Or like, maybe I like to argue. Maybe I channel that into like medical malpractice law or whatever that feels more productive. Oh, actually about writing satire, I love that. Yes, exactly. Especially, or if you have like dry sense of humor, like what is it, Arrested Development, or like Larry David type as well. But you definitely have a lot of placements, especially in your astrology, that are reflected in your human design that are like, as projectors too, it's asking yourself, what do you want to be known for? What do you, who do you want to recognize you? Where do you want to feel, what makes you feel good in terms of who appreciates your effort and energy? Finding any kind of like groups, whether online and in person, that are supportive of the same endeavors is really good for you. Because, hi Lori, as projectors, you guys are really good when you're surrounded by a good environment. And so that's why, like Jax was saying, as a projector, she's on an unfollowing spree, Boricua Sensei. Well, I feel like that name is just like very on brand for like Ty's sense of humor probably too. But really being able to understand that, like, okay, if the circle is smaller as you're trying to find more aligned people, that's okay. And as we get older, that's normal. I think that for a lot of my Aquarius placements, my Leo placements, my Cancer placements. Oh, do you really? I didn't even know that. That's hilarious. Wow, he's a Cancer. That's so funny. Yeah, I feel like even going like, this is what I say, because again, I don't know if I said this since you've been on, but I used to work in arts and music in New York City. And people who were like, oh, there's already a Larry David. In, 10 years, there's going to be people there. Do you remember when Ozzy Osbourne and Post Malone did that song together not too long ago? And there were a bunch of kids that were like, oh my God, like Post Malone's created, like, so nice. He's bringing up the small musician, Ozzy Osbourne. And people were like, what do you mean you don't know who Ozzy Osbourne is? Like, it's that kind of vibe where like, know that you're allowed to take up space because the industry moves very quickly. But I split up my live today because I had a one-on-one reading right in the middle. And what I was saying earlier is like, you're allowed to take up space, and time is moving so quickly that it's like, allow yourself to be in those kind of priming stages where like, how do you see yourself as the talent? And I think that's what a lot of our current transits, with you probably heard of being from the astrology vein, Ty, Pluto and Aquarius as a 19-year transit that we're going through, is teaching us how to really see ourselves as like both the talent manager of ourselves that are the talent, especially my Aquarians, my Scorpios, my Leos, and my Cancers. Like if you have those placements in very large aspects in your design and your astrology, and just the projectors in general, I feel like it's because that you guys always are looking for an invitation, but you could get a lot of invitations. You have to see yourself as the talent that's like, okay, the Grammys, the Super Bowl after party, the whatever, all these things are happening on the same day. Once I receive the invitation for somebody, that's your strategy in human design, and I've opened it and I've read it and I'm aware of the layers of this invitation, is this one I'm looking to accept? And what a lot of projectors get nervous about, even generators or man-gens, because our strategy is waiting to respond. When you hear wait for the invitation, you kind of freeze up at that word wait, where you're like, oh, like if I wait, that means I just have to like sit here and, I guess I'm writing on Medium until somebody I'm just going to sit here and wait for somebody to find me. But it is making yourself available for like, I don't know how much of the story is actually true, but like how Justin Bieber was found by Usher on YouTube, it's because Justin Bieber was putting in an effort with his mom, because he was probably like 11 at the time, making YouTube videos. So it's like, how can you still make yourself known? Hi, Andres. And be available in those kinds of areas. I also think, like, especially like Larry David, like writing satire, like a Substack, if you're not already on there, I would maybe invest in that as a platform as a writer, or just other kind of spaces where there's like some fun underground improv comedy, or like anything along those lines that feels good for you to be a part of. But if there's not, it's kind of like if you can't join them, beat them. Where like, if it feels, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to that right now, it's like, a lot of these things feel like kind of lackluster and like they're a little tired. How can you create the thing that you're seeking? And I feel like there's going to be a lot of that. I work a lot with people who are looking to create their own offer. And I'm doing a workshop with somebody in a couple weeks that I'll announce to you guys first. But basically the short and long of it is that like a lot of people really being able to figure out how to create their own thing, you know, like their own business, their own, again, seeing yourself as your own brand in a way that doesn't take over your entire life. But like Ty working on this project of the thing that Ty wants to be known for versus Ty being enmeshed with this project is also something helpful to know going into it. So it's also very helpful just for dealing with any kind of like rejection and like not taking anything personal, even if it is, which can be challenging sometimes. Like you are the Cancer crab, so those soft mushy insides are still there, even though, you know, you do have that hard exterior. People may not, especially as, you know, a guy, or if you're, you know, male presenting, anyone under the very masculine energy, just because you wear it well doesn't even, you know, doesn't mean it isn't heavy. So being able to know, I think now, kind of going back to whatever you can do to the fancy spiritual buzzword is to call your power back, but it's very true, of like bringing it back to yourself, is important. Yeah, rejection is never blessed. Especially like I always say, and I used to tell my artists this all the time, like you want to apply to, like, let's say you wanted to do stand-up comedy, Ty, right? For example, or you wanted to, do the thing that's coming to mind right now is that place in Brooklyn called The Moth. I think it's in Brooklyn or Manhattan. And it's like, they have like a podcast, and they used to be really big. They're still big now, but like 10 years ago, it was like really a big thing. And if like The Moth is your Yale, you know, like your Ivy League school where you're like, this is the place that I really want to get to. The first couple applications or the places that you're going, like kiss a couple frogs, you know, or like try some like smaller low hanging fruit just to flex the muscle of what it feels like to expand. I also feel like a lot of people that have been in, are you really wearing a Yale shirt? There you go. Psychic Friends Network. But a lot of people that are in the spiritual spaces have adapted this multi-level like MLM scheme thinking, where it's like they capitalize on people being open in an unregulated industry, in like getting them wrapped up into like, okay, if you pay $20,000 for this course, you know, you can 10x your salary. Where like for most people, then they rush and they're not taking the proper steps to like slowly stretch so that they can, you know, they're not teaching people how to jog at a steady pace before they start a half marathon. They get them to pay the $20,000 and teach them like, yeah, after 6 weeks or taking the self-guided course, you're going to be able to run a half marathon on your own. But they don't, it's like they still sell you a recipe with leaving out a critical ingredient, which is really assessing that most people right now need that helpful practice in applying to the low-hanging fruit, you know, or the easier position to just show yourself how to get ready for that frequency of applying to a place like Yale. So I think for projectors, that's also important too. Sorry, I've had a couple of the random accounts that will keep just writing one letter for whatever reason. And they're always Chinese letters or characters. I don't know what that means, but yeah. So let me know, Ty, if you have any other questions. Hi, Melissa. Or Melissa, excuse me. I have another friend that's Turkish that is named Melissa, so I'll say Melissa and Melissa. I interchange them sometimes, but it's nice to see you back. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm so happy to help, and I'll send you before either tomorrow, the latest, I'll send you the link with the recording so you can listen back to this again and again. So because we haven't emailed before, just check your spam, but it'll be in response to the Calendly booking that was like the receipt of payment essentially. So you'll have that there. Melissa, have you kind of done a chat in your head that would like loco? I don't know what you mean. That would like loco. The only loco I know is Four Loco, and that's saying something about my personality. I don't know. Do you have Four Loco in New Zealand? I don't even think we have it in America anymore. Not in the same capacity. Hi, surprise. Welcome. Yeah, Ty, it was nice to meet you. Welcome. I know, right? Like, it's definitely different. Yeah. For Lolo. Yeah. I know, right? You end up behind your friend. You didn't even know your friend had a barn, and you end up in a field somewhere, you know, at some street in Manhattan you have no business being around. Yeah, for Lolo. Yeah, I hope so. I suppose it's all I've ever known. No, that is true. That is true. Yeah, and I'm happy to read your boyfriend whenever, Jax. You obviously know where to find me. I think it's helpful to give the advice in a via semi-neutral third party. Aw, thank you. Oh, hi, yeah. Oh my god, I need a chat. Yeah, I've been feeling of angry, pissed off today. I understand. I felt it a couple times now. Just pissed off. Starting to feel like you want to scream out loudly. I have to try be. I understand. Honestly, very underrated, Melissa, to just scream into a pillow and get it out. Like, sometimes we just need to yell out loud. Like, yell out into the abyss, yell out into the ocean, right? But honestly, I feel that, and it's kind of comforting to know that, like, me being in America, you living in the future in New Zealand where it's tomorrow already and literally a different season. You know, you were mowing your lawn yesterday. We were talking about that, and it's snowing outside here. And we're all kind of in this collective feeling like there's a bubble that's going to burst. Even if we can't, like, I woke up today and I was kind of like, what am I anxious? Like, I feel anxiety. Like, what am I anxious about? And like, I have to, as somebody who works with a lot of people, usually what happens is if I have a session booked with somebody, and as an intuitive person, because you've been talking a lot about Travis, maybe it's some of that kind of like suppressed anger from that experience too, or even just like frustration. Like, you obviously, I only know the couple sentences, but like just trying to walk yourself through almost like an identifying, hi Deanna, an identifying, whatchamacallit, like list of like, whose is this? Where is this coming from? I really now realize I had a couple drinks at a, and I don't really drink much anymore, but last Thursday I was at a networking event, and I make sure that I don't drink 24 hours before a session. And even after the couple glasses of wine that I had at this networking event on Thursday, I was like, ooh, I just feel like I can't, like, I'm one and done now. I can't drink anymore. Like, it just makes me feel too like depressed the next day. So like those kinds of things, and not in a way like it feels like how they say that alcohol is spirits, like that kind of out of body experience. So, you know, I guess you could, what is it, sober curious, blah blah blah. Hi Jesse, welcome. Yeah, pink and red, I'm so glad. Yeah, right. It's just like, it's not giving what it used to give. That's why like hard liquor, I'm like, yeah, no, that's been gone. But I think it's just like having to be aware of, and honestly, it goes back to like the purity of so many other things, you know, and me trying to be cryptic because I want to make sure that I don't say anything that's going to get me knocked off the internet. But I think you guys that are researching enough know enough to read between the lines. Happy Saturn Day. Oh, Libra rising. Okay, yes. Oh, I love that. Yeah, gate 33, you're Leo, or gate 31. Yeah, wanting to be of influence, absolutely. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yes, who's that fine? Yes, Venus, I love that. I get a lot of Libras. I love that. I'm an Aquarius rising, so you guys fall into my 8th house, so it, like, I get a lot of clients, and you guys may notice this too. Whatever the ruling sign is of your 8th house, you get a lot of clients or people that book with you or that you work with that are 8th house incentivized. So Jax, for you and I, it's Libra, so people who really like beautiful things, aesthetic things, to look a certain way. I mean, we just talked about that too. Yeah, the drink, yeah, and slows heavy around the third. Yes, it really does. I think because like the novelty just wears off. Like, it's not, especially if you like indulged earlier than 21. it's like the novelty has worn off. You know, it's like you're like, oh, I'm a veteran now. You know, depending on, like, I think we need new, we need fresh. What keeps the scales balanced for you, Ellington? You know, is my Libra risings. And like a lot of like it's more common now. I feel like, yeah, it was so nice to meet you. Yes, absolutely. Thanks for being here. My live schedule is on I go live on every Saturday now. Yeah, I feel like this is a basic question, but how does authority work in human design? So basically your authority is like your compass that tells you how to make decisions based on your energy type. So in human design, we say your energy type, and I'll read your comment in a second. I'm on TikTok at the same time, Melissa, so if you see me, like, you're like, who is she talking to? That's where the chat's coming from, my right-hand side. But it's basically the tool that you can use to figure out how you make decisions. So in your auric frequency, the fancy way to say it is that you are always in a position where the way that you make decisions is based on the waiting for the invitations that you get. Now, similar to waiting to respond as a generator or manifesting generator, and I think I've covered everyone. If there's a rogue reflector or manifestor in here, you guys can let me know, and I can apply this to you too. But for projectors, generators, and mangens, we wake up in the morning and we are responding to our environment regardless. You know, when we wake up, it's like, okay, do I want coffee? Do I want tea? Do I want water? Do I want this? Do I want that? Like, kind of going through the energetic menu. Now, for generators and mangens, it's more A or B, black and white, somatic. For projectors, it's a little bit more like, how do I go through my day being worried about my business? And that's an even outside of the confines of your home. If you're posting or available and that frequency is being shown to the universe that you want to receive certain types of invitations, they will find you. It's just a matter of having that trust that the what's her face, the meditation lady, you know, the universe has your back, sort of thing. Jax literally got a random text message talking to somebody that she knew about, you know, a couple opportunities. So without sharing her business before we're meant to online, you know, and I'm sure that all of you guys can kind of think of moments in your life where that's happened, where it's like the internal and external, sometimes signifier, it's internal first, that tells you like how your energy or how your aura, your energy type interacts with the world around you. So it's like why, as a projector, you guys get people, you know, yucking your yum or harshing your dream mellow, excuse me, the hardest when you go out of your way to get recognition or to try to get invitations, because, oh, the 4037 channel, Tiffany. Yeah, listen, the pivot that will happen, if I have anything to do with it, is that projectors have so much to learn, in that projectors have so much to teach. And we actually have a lot to learn from you guys, but I need you guys to know that you're worthy to do whatever it is that you want to do. You know? So, yeah. Okay, no, that's fine. Yeah, I was curious about that. But because you know that. When I say that, you're like, oh, damn, she's right. Like, I'm kind of sleeping on myself. So it's like, let me just, like, share the mirror of that. And, you know, different energy types can feel that way too. But I feel like projectors, in my experience in the 10 years that I've been doing this, is important. Yeah, directly, indirectly. Yes, been working on that. Exactly. Hi, Flying. Welcome. Have you been ready to learn? Always. We're always open to learning. Hi, I was like, damn, I shouldn't be chasing these motherfuckers. Yeah, exactly. Keeps me balanced. Doing any tests that helping others. I love that. Thus my own joy goes unquestioned and unbothered, in a sense. I love that. Spawning projector. There you go. We were just talking about projectors. I love that. Which you may have heard. Maybe that's why you said that. Let me just, yeah, Melissa, have to keep busy. I have anxiety, depression for years. Yeah, I know. And it's an ongoing process of figuring out in different phases of your life, Melissa, like what works and what doesn't. What worked 5 years ago, you may wake up and all of a sudden the routine that you've had for 5 years, you need something else. And I think too, that goes back to the word that has come up a lot in people being able to handle their, you know, depression, their anxiety. I was just having this conversation yesterday, is like figuring out like kind of like what's in your toolbox, and novelty. What's like, where has a novelty worn off of one coping skill, and now there's something else, and giving yourself grace. Like, you've just been through a pretty crazy year energetically, and again, the grief process is not something that, it's like when grief can be compared a lot to people who deal with chronic illness, in that people are there the first couple months, you know, you're chronically ill, and I don't know if anyone else is chronically ill, or, you know, a couple years or blah, blah, blah. But like they'll show up at the beginning, but once someone's dealing with something chronic, like it tapers off, you know, after a while. So the same thing can happen with grief. And I think knowing that, like, not to judge one person's capacity, but that's where, like, building your creative community, or being creative with your community of who can help you carry different variations of that load to help you is important. I feel like I'm glad that we connected, you know, in this way. And I don't even know what you look like. I don't know. I just know you're Melissa, and I know your experience with Travis, and that's it. But it's like, this can be more healing, and these, you know, statistically, probably in how much time we spent together, maybe the 12 hours that we've known each other can sometimes be more healing than somebody, you know, in real life that you've, you know, had years with. It just is like, life is weird that way. So let me pivot. But yeah, let me see. Yeah, I'm thankful. I was with my mom today, and I'm thankful for charging myself up this week. Oh, I'm glad. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, needing that and grounding too. You are an emotional projector, yeah. No, the others have to invite the teacher. Yeah, I think that was transparent. But it's like, you have to be in that frequency of being open and not bitter for people to ask, you know? Yeah, well, teaching to others that aren't ready will mess with their karma and drain you. Yeah, and even no matter your energy type too, you know. But it's like, you can like lead a horse to water sort of thing. Absolutely. Yeah, as you can tell, I've been watching back and taking notes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it feels so good to have myself. I'm so glad. Yeah, having that balance is important. Absolutely, absolutely. So far, if I keep busy, it helps give my mind a rest. Yeah, thanks again, you're a beautiful soul. Likewise, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna water the garden. I've always known, but since Travis died, it made me want to heal. Absolutely. And I feel like just your relationship and only meeting 4 hours before his passing, like, that's such a, like, when you posted those pictures of him so I could see him, it's like, what a beautiful way to spend his last few hours, you know, like, you did have a really beautiful experience together. And I think that there's a gift in that in and of itself. Doesn't mean it's easy, but I think that, you know, I hope that that's some consolation. Absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. Like I say, I'm here to talk with you, not at you. So whatever feels important. If you want me to pull up your chart specifically and pour into a specific question or look at specific aspects, those of you that are my Patreon community, I also make these times available so you guys can book your complimentary reading. But just know that that's part of the reason I'm here today too, if you have not used your complimentary reading for the month. Yeah, it's like, it's all happening at once. I'm going to water the garden. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, enjoy. Water the garden, water yourself. You need to update your account first, but then you can do it. Yes, Jax. Because of the billing snafu. Yeah, exactly. But it won't let you go in to get the link to do it. Not to blast your card business online. But I'll be on next Saturday too, just in time for Valentine's Day. But let me know. It'll process now, and then it'll unlock the community chat, so you can click on the link to be able to book. But yeah, I was saying earlier, and I don't know if before you guys had hopped on, like right when I was starting, I was talking a lot about I'm taking a bank to court. Oh my God, yeah. Good luck. I mean, listen, I think your sense of justice, Bren, is like really strong. Also makes sense, like Libra, the scales. So, you know, a lot of the, Friday the 13th. Oh my gosh, you're so right. I totally forgot that this was this month. That's so funny. I love that. I know they do, that's a big thing in tattoos, right? Like they'll do like a certain, it's called like a sheet or something that they do. But what I was gonna circle back to, sorry for the corporate lingo, sometimes I find that term appropriate. As a manifesting generator, that's obviously a yapper. My go-to is all that to say. So I know that you guys have picked up on that before. But us realizing now, and Deanna, we may have talked about this too, that a lot of what we thought we were going to be working on, as those of you who are in my position or want to be in a similar career where you're working for yourself and helping people in a spiritual discipline, is that adjusting your expectations and being open and not so invested in the ego aspect of it, right? That like you can humble yourself to say, I know what my expectations of going into this business of what people wanted me for, but then the reality of what the session requires, still within the confines of your boundaries for what you're offering. Like if you are, you know, somebody who is not informed in the proper ways to deal with like complex CPTSD or something along those lines, like bringing awareness to that. But like there's a lot of people that have been dealing with a lot of things about like confidence or self-assuredness or decisiveness, and like sometimes we have to go back in those specific directions to be able to go forward and being able, what is this YouTube behavior? Hold on. These are the kind of comments I usually get on YouTube, not on TikTok. But yeah, like there's a lot of strategy that my mind is driven towards, and I'm noticing that in a lot of my one-on-one sessions, I'm having to go back to some of the more basic foundational aspects of building self-confidence. And listen, that's always been something that I've worked on with people, but it's definitely heightened right now. And I've been doing my own kind of 1-3 profile research to spend some time objectively processing where that's coming from, outside of what it has historically been in a lot of people that I work with, where it's like comparison being the thief of joy on the internet, you know, and a lot of people being too worried about what other people are doing and not having enough of that, you know, intentional computer phone time where we're executing on our own things and creating our own things before we're consuming anything else. So I don't know if anyone has any thoughts on that, but I wanted to share that. Yeah, hip bumps my retrograde Saturn. There you go. Yeah, got this guy with my moon and rising. That's crazy. I'm in my element. Yeah, there you go. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, a lot of people, what did they say? Taking them to the cleaners. There's been a lot of that too, where it's like just what I said too earlier, like being aware of anyone who makes you feel just uncomfortable. It's probably a sign. Yeah, and you just moved too, so it's like allowing yourself to, like, they say that moving is one of the most stressful things a person can go through. And also, like, I feel like you're probably like me, where it's like we start cleaning the room and then we put the hat on and doing types of things like that. You know, we have all the old journals and things that we've gone through, and you know, the part one comes from when you're packing all the boxes, and part two is when you start to unpack. I've been in my house 3 years, and there's still boxes and things that I have to go through. I'm gonna start to sew again, and I wanted to be a fashion designer as my first job, and that's what is happening back here. But like, I still have like all these things that are still bags that I have to go through. Finding that balance, you know. I'm a 4/6 splenic projector with with crazy list of gifts. 44 tops them. Always said, I need to ask you. I need you to ask. What do you mean? Yeah. Or are you asking me to give you an invitation so you could share something you want to know? It's weird to see the invite on this. Yeah, or there's a, do you mean the literal invite where people are sharing, or me giving an invite to projectors, or the literal button that usually says like, invite so-and-so to join the live? Because those are two different, like, I'm like, oh, what vein am I trying to, it's so funny because I get specific projectors that have your same type of energetic frequency, and you're very, there's this one guy, Elliot Mins, I think is his name, and he's like, I'm sure your gifts, you know, are a little bit more cerebral, I'll say, you know, or in some ways, but he's basically like a PR guy out in LA and Beverly Hills, and it's like very poetic, professorly languaging kind of thing. So I see that frequency when it comes through sometimes. Bren, you have a little bit of that, but not as much sometimes. I think it has to do with your Libra too. Yeah, okay, cool, Jacqueline. Yeah. what you're working on looks so pretty. Thank you. I'm excited. Yeah, it's old sari fabric actually that I got, and I got permission. I have actually a lot of followers that are from Asia and India, or subscribers that I talk with. I go live on YouTube Monday through Thursday, 1 to 3 p.m. And I was like, can I use this fabric? Like, is that something that is good? And they were like, girl, if you came on here wearing a sari, we would love it. I'm like, okay, I won't do that because I'm still a white lady in America. If I was, going to the appropriate place in the appropriate time, yes. But also want to make sure we're not getting ourselves in trouble here. Yeah, okay, Jax, let me pivot over to you now. Asking my right friends when I can. For Jax. Okay, so we'll be at like the 50-30 mark roughly. Okay, so let me look at your specific question. Yeah. Okay, so, oh, that's so funny. So his birthday he has the same birthday as my ex-boyfriend, which is actually really funny. But two very different expressions of that behavior. So a little love reading. You know who did his chart on your chart creator. Is he with you right now? Something about it felt like that maybe didn't progress the way it was supposed to. Okay, cool. At least that worked out well. Was it like complicated? Was there some like airport issue or something like that, or like flight delays? I also just think of Uranus. I mean, what's nice is that like you and I being Aquarius risings, like even though Uranus is doing its own chaotic thing, it is our modern chart ruler. So yeah, complicated but successful. Okay, I love that. So let me bring up his chart. It's so funny. I'm like, is the birth year correct? Because it's like the level of European maturity is just very different. And like his like whole, like just his personality as well. It's like wise beyond his years. So let me share my screen here. So automatically, like the first thing that I look at, of course, is that he's right. He's a Sagittarius, but a gate. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Hi, Meredith. Welcome. We did it back in November, I think twice. Oh, okay. Yeah. So that'll be in the bowels of my, my data log. So I just wanted to make sure that his was up. But he, like me, is a 1-3 sacral manifesting generator. So I understand his energy as a professional, but also as a personal person who also has the same 3. So we do not ask. This is funny because in a love relationship, I understand because I've been on the receiving end of having to explain my personality. We do not ask questions from a level of trying to be, and I think we talked about this when I met with you when you were over there with him abroad. It's like he needs to know a certain level of things to feel like he can make the most informed decision possible. A 1-3, like the cheeky way to say it, is that we don't like to be caught with our pants down. So it's like the more, like no information, like no amount of information is too much information. So leaning into knowing that it's like we're meant to be like the archetype of the one line is that of the investigator. I think you said that he was a Virgo rising. I can't see that from his chart. His rising sign gate is one of the only things I can't see compared to his astrology, but like it also is very on par with being a Virgo rising. Your rising sign changes every 2 hours. Our rising sign, and someone asked me, why is our rising sign gate not on our human design body graph? And it's the same reason our Black Moon Lilith gate isn't defined. It's because our rising sign is the constellation that was rising on the eastern horizon at the time that we were born. Yeah, Libra moon, yeah. And Virgo rising. Yeah, if he's a Virgo rising, then he's ruled by his Sagittarius Mercury in gate 11. So having a lot of ideas. Okay, so you have a defined ajna, right? So his undefined ajna with gate 11, it's like literally why, like both of you can be very chatty, and it's great when you're chatty about the same thing. But as a defined ajna, it's like you can share a lot, and so can he, but it's like kind of practicing and just knowing you personally too. Practicing, little puzzle. The info dumping and letting him know that like, hey, I love you, but I need to have boundaries around the time and the place that I can actually talk about this. Because I think that especially as a projector and just who you are as a person and being very Saturnian with your traditional chart ruler, thank you for liking the live too. It makes you feel the pressure of what he is just trying to work out as an external processor, which is generally speaking more rare for men than it is for women. I think that he operates in a way where he, especially because of his design, is an external processor, where him giving you kind of these things to bounce off of, you're internalizing it in your undefined sacral and making it make you feel like you have to do something about it. And I know that there's been kind of like, you're still kind of feeling each other out. He's also a Libra moon. The scales are like this. Yeah. There's nothing that you guys can't get through without like direct confrontation. And I was saying that to Chelsea, who was here earlier, like defining what confrontation means to you. To me, like I'll confront something. Confrontation does not equate to a knockdown, drag out fight. It's like, it's you and I against this thing that we're trying to figure out. And it's a lot of complex things with who's flying where and what time are you on, like that kind of thing. So I think just repeating, like when I say this, it's you and I against this thing that's we're dealing with, not you and I against each other. Also helpful to know, he has the channel of rhythm, right? That 515 channel. So that's also like, sometimes he's going to come across really super organized, and then it's Sagittarius, like need for freedom. He's like, okay, like we had this plan, but then like, fuck it, let's go fly to Florence for the weekend, you know, or like things like that. And it's great when it's fun. It's great when it's something sexy, but when you're like, okay, now like we're at the point now in our relationship where real life is kicking in, and it's like, you know, jet setting and all those kinds of things. And you know, you're not Sonia Morgan going off to Stad and all those kinds of things. It becomes, you know, something different. And I think also because of the position that you're in, it's putting you in a little bit more of your masculine than historically up until this point you've been used to in the dynamic of your heteronormative relationship, you know? So it's the way that it is now isn't the way that it's going to be forever. And I think understanding that this is just a season that you're getting through to make your lives even more easier to go back. Because it's also, I feel like for his personality, he doesn't like being in that position where he has to consult you, I'll say, for a lot of different things, you know? Like it's like it maybe feels like a little bit like he doesn't have as much he can't assist as much as he would like to, right, at this moment in time. So it's like like the emasculating is what I want to say, to not filter my own vocabulary word. But it's not a matter of like if he'll ever, he's already successful, but I think like there's just like there's more growth there, obviously, with his 3254 channel, which is the gate of drive, meets his south node with his moon in gate 32. For everybody, and I think that this goes to speak to the larger what things that you're picking up on for all my projectors, is that we're going through such crazy shifts right now. There's the whole Human Design 2027, projectors finally getting more of the recognition that you guys deserve, you know, all that to say that you're feeling that kind of shift in your environment, not just in your home, but also externally outside, of like knowing that there's a lot of shifts where we can't really see the forest through the trees right now. There you go, 513, yes. And making sure that you're being where your feet are. That's so funny. There you go. Being where your feet are. And my dramatic pause is because I'm trying to slow down my brain, so I make sure I'm when I pause, it's so not only so I don't use filler words, or I try not to, but also trying to slow down my brain because so much information comes to me at one time. Undefined ajna, open ajna things. But with all of these Aries transits that we're having right now, it's a lot, what I've been describing it as, if I could give a visual indicator, because a lot of the people that I connect with, or we like a good visual, it's really, being where your feet are. I usually reserve that tip for generators and man gens, helpful doubly so for Stefan, but grounding in taking one foot at a time, because we know that we're on a road. We're on a paved road that we've gone down 100 times before, but the fog is like unprecedented fog. And so you know that if you take one step at a time, you know where the road ends. You've been there before, you'll get there. But if you try to run before you are ready, right? We're running in that way, running. You may trip over the guardrail and fall off the other side. And that's true for everybody, but especially as a projector, it's like having to remember that you guys have that authoritative presence that you're craving the invitations for so badly, right? But you get them better by leading by example, not begging for people to see your side. So it's like, even in, that could be applied to a lot of different areas, and I think is important, but especially when it comes to love, it's like, for projectors, it's like, if you want somebody who buys you flowers, you also have to be the person that knows that when you're single or uncoupled or your partner isn't there, you're also worthy of buying yourself flowers too. And leading by example is always the vocabulary that I come back to. So following that kind of lens again and again is important. So let me know if there's any other questions after that in the Flying Dragon. We do know and want to tell everyone else, but they aren't ready to hear staying in your own stuff. Yeah, and I think it's about what I try to teach my projectors, because I have only 3 channels in my Human Design body graph. 2 of them are projector-like channels. So even though I'm a manifesting generator, a lot of the way my circuitry works is actually very aligned to projectors. And the more that I just show up, right? And I've been going live for 3 years on TikTok now, and I've started going live on YouTube to my left-hand side. It's like, if you make it, they will come if you're confident in what you're selling. And just showing up and leading by example is the best thing that I could say. Yeah, this was on point. We have to stay on our own side of the street, especially now. Absolutely. Because it's like, you're too sexy. It's like, I say this like in a crass way, because Jersey girl, if you sit in shit, you start to smell. Like, you guys know better. So I say, I made an old video about this that's in my projector playlist that's pinned here. If you don't be bitter, be better. Right? Oh, that's so funny. More affirmation. Yeah, if I build it, they will come. I love that. I love that. Genuinely need to worry about myself, and that hasn't been easy. Absolutely. Well, think historically, like, you're rewriting the rules of your relationship, for your ideal relationship, for what you want, based on old software. And we all do that, right? But these are your chances, Jax, to get it right this time, because you have somebody that's willing to work with you on that. But having that alone, oh my God, especially for, being straight and in a relationship, that's very helpful, right? I didn't have, I knew somewhere it felt in my frequency that my husband was out there, but like, until I found him, I was like, oh, thank God. Right? And I was like, he's a 5-year, he studied psychology, like, he's done his own work and self-discovery. Hi, Orange, how are you? That he needed, and you have that same thing with Stefan as well. It's like, and you guys both like freedom. So I think you're going to find, like, we call it in my household, like, co-veg time, where we like are silent and not talking, but we're just together in the same room. Yeah, we've had some interesting conversations. Yeah, it's like, when you stay in your own lane, you find that people, it's like, when you are projectors, I feel like you guys will know, when your energy is really good and you feel amazing, and say, there was just a video that I saw on TikTok, and you're like laying in a lounge chair on the beach at a beach club, and then there's no one else in the entire beach, and then someone comes and sits like right next to you. It's like allowing yourself to say, like, okay, universe, like, if you're gonna bring this person and I'm magnetizing them to me, have them start to strike up a conversation, and something that leads to more clients, an aligned relationship, whatever it is that you're asking for. That's how you kind of create more of that healthy auric frequency, if you will. Yeah, not ready to hear and not needing to hear from a particular projectors. Yeah, and I think it's knowing, like, just because somebody's asked you, if that juice is worth the squeeze from telling people what the F they need to know, right? Like, it's like, I know when I am on a live, when somebody books me for a reading here, and when I tell you I see everything, I'm telling you, like, I am glad that I hold my people in reverence, because I know that you guys are capable of that too. Like, it is not my position to, with Jax, like, I don't need to expose the layers of other shit that I see, because I'm aware, hi Leva, that we are on TikTok Live, this is a public forum. I would never embarrass somebody for the sake of views online. If you want to book a private session, if that happens, that's where we can have a little bit more of those intimate conversations. But it's also like, as a projector, because you can go right in, it's like, what is that, like reading the kind of energetics of what the space requires, and knowing that, like, I think that's where a lot of people, and not just projectors, but like, it's like, being afraid that it's the only invitation that you're going to receive. So you overgive, and they underpay usually. Even if it's not financially, it's also energetic. Like, I've overgiven in this relationship to prove that I know what I'm talking about, and they're not mentally able to handle that, right? Ellington, to what you said about, it's like, yeah, not from this projector. But yeah, it's like, it's so right. Hello, husband. I was just talking about you being a psychology major, and how I didn't know that a man could be aware. He's gonna get embarrassed. Yeah, not ready to hear and not needing to hear from a particular projectors. Exactly. Yeah, right. Yeah. There's a name for the, yeah. It's a different feel now. Projectors need to work on their own, and they will come to you. Absolutely. Yeah, all you got to do is ask the universe. Yeah, yep. When I'm the busiest minding my own stuff, they show up. Absolutely. That would happen to me all the time. Yeah, exactly. Or if you're reading on the beach, you're like, oh, like, because you're a grounding presence. What can I say exactly? Here I am. Yeah, it's a good connection. No need to put on a show or do. Just be, exactly. It's too exhausting any other way. Yeah, you have a ton going on in this room. Yeah, we always overgive. It's true. I know there's a lot of my manifesting generatorness. It's nice on Saturdays because I've also just been doing like chats via candlelight, so that's been helpful too. But hi, Leva, it's nice to see you. Of course I remember you. We had a good discussion yesterday. I hope you're having a beautiful Saturday. If it's still Saturday, maybe hello from the past. Hello for you, it's hello from the future. But it's nice to see you again. I have TikTok on my right-hand side, so that's why if you can't see the chat, it's like my chat is on the right-hand side mostly than yesterday. So the portals have switched. But yeah, I don't think I had anything else to say off that specific vein, other than a lot of what we're, for so many different reasons, like no matter what religion, spiritual discipline, all the red threads that kind of run together, and a lot of what Leva and I were talking about yesterday is objectively talking about and having an appreciation for all of people's different belief systems and the way that they do things, is that we all come back to understanding that there's something that we can do that's fulfilling to us, and maybe that's just being a happier, more joyful presence to people in your corner of the world, whatever that looks like. But we all have that desire to do something in some way, and do it in a way that also makes sure that we're pouring out from an overflow, because nobody benefits by somebody doing operating out of a deficit. Yeah, Scorpio, Taurus. Yeah, Scorpio, Taurus, Moon, Libra rising. You're not just doing human design, you're a psychic too. Absolutely. Well, I'm a Pisces Sun, Aquarius rising, Scorpio Moon, so we have Sun Moon synastry as well. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I write about the red thread. That's so cool. I love that. The Scorpio connection too. And I love a good Taurus Moon. Taste is my cognition or my strongest sense in human design, so I find that I attract a lot of Taurans too. Even though it's my South Node, so people get a little squirrely about like personal placements and South Node conjunctions, but it's all about the balance too. But yeah, I love that. I'm happy to affirm. I always say that because I have so much Scorpio, like my job is to help clean up the cobwebs so that you can see yourself more clearly. But I always come back to, especially because as who I am as a person in Aquarius, like I need to detach also. Like a lot of the misconceptions about this type of work is that it's meant to take it takes your free will away in some capacity. But there's an astrologer named Pam Gregory who I like that talks about how it's like 50% of the pie, but you also have free will, and religion talks about that too. So it's like being able to know that I could tell you could be the greatest singer in the entire world, but if you never open your mouth to sing, like I can't change that for you, it's not going to happen unless you want it for yourself. And I think that that's also something that, why a lot of spiritual practitioners had gotten burnt out, because they, when people come to them, they expect a level of engagement where it's like, no, we have to go back before we go forward again, to get people to really understand, like, somewhere, and I'm a 1-3, right? So I always say that, but more, hi, Polly, thank you, foundational aspects to make sure we're growing on really solid ground right now. Right, same with all my Scorpio, exactly, yes. I'm a gardener by trade. Sorry, the same person keeps trying to pop back in again. There we go. Hob. Great. I'm a gardener by trade. There is a hard to find ancient deaf. Humility is sticking your hands in the dirt. I love that. Absolutely. Well, I think that a lot of what, and it's interesting when we talk about this in relationship to celebrity culture, and somebody just did a piece of content about, I don't remember who it was, I hadn't seen her before, about how, House of Beautiful Blues, there you go, about how people are, advertisers are, it's like they're trying to make fetch happen without fetch happening. Like, you know, it's like they have to beg people to watch the Super Bowl. Like, people are caring a lot less, thank you, about being sold to, or we're just so inundated with being sold something with services that aren't actually very helpful, that a lot of people are like, okay, what's like a skill? Like me going back to sewing again, like gardening, like things that just like keep us in touch with our primal corporeal sense of humanity, no matter your energy type. Like, we're just craving, like, what's a skill that I can learn to help myself to like mend clothes? Like, I have this fabric I got when I was like 18 and in school, and I never did anything with it. So instead of going and feeling like I have to buy all this new fabric, I'm using what I have. And then I have what's called the seam ripper, to take apart some of old clothes, things that I've worn once that I don't want to wear again, to use what I have. And that's, I think, like, teaching people to use what they have and to be resourceful. Like, that is everything. Yeah, the hardest thing for empaths, we see potentiality, but they don't have, yes, exactly, but they don't have to choose potential. Exactly. It's a repetitive need. Yeah, weeding, stitching, cooking, cleaning to ground. Yes, it's so true. I have an undefined root, although I have, or undefined root. I have some gates there. But yeah, I find it very helpful for those of us that have undefined roots to really do a lot of those, like, repetitive needs, right? The weeding, the stitching, the cooking, the things that we can kind of ground in and know that we have to do to feel more stable, to find our grounding. And the empathic nature. I say for us, right, it's like why so many people that are very spiritually in tune are more introverted by nature, have a hard time. Like, you have to be really selective about when you engage with the public, because we don't even have to, like, when I woke up this morning and I said I was anxious, like, there was nothing going on for me personally that was a cause for the anxiety, but I was like, okay, I had to do my little usual personal self-care checklist, you know, to just discern, like, where is this coming from? Who am I picking up on? What am I tapping into? And usually, you know, it's whoever booked with me in the afternoon. And in that case, that was true. And she was somebody that I actually met in person, who's very sweet. And we were talking a lot about just people that have totally, and I find it a lot for the Pluto. She's a Pluto and Aquarius person, and so, like, a lot of that kind of coming up for people around self-confidence, things like that too. Yeah, Pluto and Aquarius. Hold on, let me see. Gate 46. So Pluto in Libra or Virgo. I have to look at the specific degree, but one of the two. Looks so moody. It's so funny because on YouTube it looks like there's just somebody standing here floating, but it's not. It's just a mannequin. Oh, so you're totally open. Okay, yeah. That's, yeah. Is this mine? It's at others daily. Absolutely. Yeah, my head center is the only one undefined. Wow, so yeah, you're pretty defined too. So you're a generator, a man gen. That's right. Yeah, so just watching out for the not having to feel like you have to be sure. This is something I said too that's helpful. And I don't want to give a pass to the people who take advantage of this. That's a very important distinction. But I can count on one hand, missing 3 fingers, how many times somebody has actually asked me if I'm certified in anything that I've done, in anything that I've worked on, because I spend time getting to know my subject really well, and I'm a nerd like that. So if you are a nerd like that has good intentions, don't get so hung up. And I find that like sometimes with like people that are a generation or two senior to me, I'm a millennial, and not to say that there aren't people that can feel that way. There's certainly Gen Zs that feel that way too. But like, it's like, do you have the street cred to prove that you know what you're talking about? I mean, there's so many, how many advertisements or people do we see just in the spiritual community? It's like on IG, like 10x your months by following these 3 human design keys. And like, yes, some of that, like some people like that may have those good intentions, but you know, it's like, just because you spent 8 years in the International Human Design School doesn't mean jack if you don't know how to talk to people to truly understand right now what people need. Like, if you want to survive as a spiritual practitioner now, or somebody who wants to embody that work, it's pause on a course and focus on either a skill share with somebody else, somebody who's actually teaching you how to do something that is like, okay, like when I do mentorship, I help people with Stripe. We're creating your first offer. We're working on your marketing. Stuff that you can actually use, not the mindset of how to manifest money using one gate, because that you could read in a book, that you could do in, a couple weeks practicing by yourself. That's not interesting, right? Or lying to people where your only business, the only way that you make money. There's a huge thing that Amanda Francis lady, there's like a huge expose in the reality TV world, because she's like, it's a money manifestation mindset coach thing. Watch a couple YouTube videos for free about that. But it's like, it's going beyond where now, like, the people that are in this field that actually have longevity is like getting really good at the basics and teaching people exactly apprenticeship. That's such a good word for it. But teaching people how to, I read Chelsea's question and it distracted me. Sorry, I started thinking faster than my mind gave up. But teaching people, from an apprenticeship perspective, like, what do you actually do with this information, and how does this actually help you in your day-to-day life? Best certified can be garbage, yes, and self-trained is the best, absolutely. Like, okay, great. Like, it could be like if somebody had parents that sent them to Stanford and they got their undergrad and masters, in business, and the family just had a lot of money to pay off the school, even though that kid didn't have the ability to actually pass any classes because, it's like some scholastic version of a Nepo baby. Like, it's the same thing in the spiritual community. Like, I think ask the questions of like, can this person actually answer? And that goes back to critical thinking. Like, there's a lot of lack in, especially when we see, like, depending on where certain people at, like, I notice it a lot with my younger generation that I help. It's like walking them through how to critically think about something and not getting frustrated with them, right? It's like, no, you're fine. Oh yeah, I believe that, Leba. Yes. What year were you saying that? I feel like you were saying you're taking a test soon too? Were we talking about that yet? Was that you that said that? I have a couple test takers in my crew. But it is really challenging. But it's like because you're willing to work through it while it's hard, you'll retain the information and remember it and being able to apply it. And it's so clear with who you are as a person, even in the day that I've known you, that you don't take it for granted. It may be challenging, you may be tired, but you're very grateful, like a person who's very grateful and kind of heart, right? So it's like that matters. Yeah. Bren, can you explain the sun versus the earth placement? Having trouble understanding. So it's so funny because I was thinking about doing something about this. So our sun placement, and this goes back to the crossover in talking about like subatomic particles in human design. So there's one of the variations of that called neutrinos, which is basically how much influence, I'll say in simplistic terms, that we get from the sun based on our sun sign. So our sun sign is like the flavor of the type of manifesting generator we are. What they say, hi Neff, is like the greatest gift. Thank you. the greatest gift that we have. So our earth placement, and think of it like start to think of it like in layers. Like, okay, earth, I associate earth placements with grounding. Okay, my earth placement is going to be something that grounds me. It's also like our yin. If the sun is our yang, the yang, the earth is our yin. And so it teaches us like how do we in our incarnation cross, so both sun sign and earth sign placements, those 4 gates you'll notice are the 4 gates of your incarnation cross. It's like as above so below, because the gate that your sun sign is in, your one of the placements, or it's the placement that's across from it, that's your earth. So it's like what pulls your sun down and tethers it so you can grow or nurture that garden in your life. So it's, again, to create a summation of it, it's your feminine essence and what grounds you. So mine, for example, is I'm a gate 63 Pisces sun, right? Gate of doubt. So my grounding earth, part of my incarnation cross is gate 5 is my design sun. And then my grounding, because I'm a Pisces sun, my grounding is my gate 64. The grounding of my gate 63 personality sun is my gate 64 Virgo earth placement. It just happens to be in an earth sign. There's no, it's all the same, is it modality? Is that the right word? Where it's like your sun and your earth on both sides are going to be mutable, all cardinal, or the other, or all fixed. So you'll see that, that reflected. But the way that I alleviate if I'm overcompensating too much of the gate of doubt and internalizing it is by using my gate 64 to ground myself in it's the gate of confusion, which doesn't mean that I stay confused. It means that I know that I need to ask a certain amount of questions or figure out in a healthy way what grounds me by asking the right questions to close that train of thought. But I have a lot of Scorpio and a Scorpio moon. So if I don't keep it in check, it can very much so, yeah, right, it's true. I can very much so become obsessed about something. But I've learned to channel my obsessive tendencies into things that are healthy. So like being obsessed about learning about something that's beneficial versus like being obsessed about something that like in my youth was not as helpful, you know? Yeah, girl. Yeah, exactly. Well, my Scorpio moon, yes, it's like Scorpio moon created doubt of other people. Pisces sun created doubt in myself. Hi, professional troublemaker. I feel like, were you on, is there a crossover from YouTube? Exactly. Focused, not obsessed. But when I was younger, I would have those like obsessiveness. So I had to train my, okay, hello. Yes. I was like that. Your username sounds familiar. Welcome back. It's nice to see you again. Yeah, so as a Virgo, mine would be switched, exactly. So like for me and our relationship with our sun signs, like I could create a lot of grounding externalization to kind of like water your soil, right? Mutable, Neff, before I forget to say that, mutable is like the, I want to say, is that the right astrological word, modality? I'm forgetting the word, but basically every sign of the zodiac is either a cardinal placement like Aries, Cancer, Capricorn, a fixed placement like Scorpio, Aquarius, or mutable, which is Virgo, thank you, Virgo, Pisces, etc. So mutable, it's Gemini, Sagittarius, exactly, thank you. Maybe that was more the word, but yeah, more flexible, exactly. We go with the flow, we're like a little bit, which is so funny, like my sun is mutable, but I'm an Aquarius rising and a Scorpio, hi Junie, an Aquarius rising and a Scorpio moon. So I'm like, I have very specific limits on how flexible I can be, which is, I have gate 5 as well. So it's also no gate 15. So like, it's like, I've had people tell me in the past that like, I need to understand like where your switch is. Like what's the switch of like when, like it's, I say gate 5 too, like I'm very like sensory, like I don't like stepping on crumbs on the floor. I always have socks or slides or my UGG slippers on, like things like that I'm like, because when I feel it, I'm like, I have to clean it right away. And like when you have a house, it's like, you know, and I have a cat, like all those things that I'm always cleaning up something. Also Virgo Chiron. If that has anything to do with it, I don't know. But it definitely does. Exactly. Same in the sense, how mutable rising. Oh, there you go. Fixed sun and moon. That's so funny. Yeah, our big three is the same dynamic. Yeah, the gates are really interesting. Yeah. Well, I was saying I did a session, probably 6 or 7, years ago with a guy that, when I was like kind of priming myself, and I knew I wanted to be self-employed, but I wasn't ready yet. I was like in my old apartment, like all these kind of things. And I had said, like, very Virgo Chiron-esque was like, perfectionism was like a moving target that I could never hit, right? And based on, I mean, being a Scorpio moon, if you know anything about Scorpio moons, I didn't exactly have the most emotionally satisfying childhood. So it was like, do as I say, not as I do, right? Those kinds of, balancing kind of aspects that exacerbated my Virgo Chiron. My dad's a Virgo, but I'm more of like a daddy's girl in that way. I actually get, it's like with the Virgo energy, it's like I always, and Tiffany too, like I get along with Virgos really easily, because it's like we don't even have to talk. It's almost like a psychic friends network. We don't have to talk. My dad also has an undefined throat, so that's funny too. But this one, my very beat up, oh, there you go, Faith. Yeah, okay, so we had the same childhood. I'm sorry, but I'm so glad for who you are now. Yeah, Scorpio does love Virgo. That's so true. That's so true. We can analyze the shit out of something together. I feel like Scorpio, in my experience, Scorpio gives the eyes, and then, thank you. And then Virgo's like, Virgo said that they didn't like that thing or that person, or they clocked it out loud, because Virgo's just very strategic about their intuition. Whereas like Pisces, were a little bit, we blur the boundaries, in many ways sometimes, but, neither here nor there. But yeah, it's like when you look and make eye contact with a Virgo as a Scorpio dominant person, and you're like, oh, we both clocked the same T at the same time. But this is my favorite, especially as a splenic projector flying. It's the Human Design, the Science of Differentiation. As a 1-3, I'm very much so a purist. So I find that like Jenna Zoe can be great. Hi, Holden. But you know too much for that to actually, you're like, I know this already, so like good for beginners, but this I find is helpful if you want to go deeper and want to get into a basic understanding of the language. But honestly, the reason I'm able to pull up so much so quickly and retain so much is the beneficial aspects of Scorpio. But I just have read so many charts in practice, We do need feet, which is funny because Pisces rules the feet. You think we would be more grounded. Hi, Nicole. Oh, what were you saying? Oh, about grounding using your opposing sign. I love that. So looking at your earth placement, because it sits opposite. So when you're looking at your gate 18 in the top right-hand corner, Nicole, look at the gate that falls underneath that, which I want to say for you is gate 17, Aries. Hold on. I can tell you. I'm putting you more into your yin energy or your feminine. Yeah, 17, gate 17 in the 5th line. And then also gate 38, gate of the fighter, gate of opinions. There you go. I ground my opposite sign every day. There you go. This is so not my usual vein of conversation when you've met me, Holden, that it's funny because I'm like, it'll be entertaining to see if our communication style in this context. It's linked in my bio if you guys care. It's an Amazon affiliate link. I have it because people ask me for it. But yeah, do with that information what you will. Thank you, professional. I'm not a fortune teller. Yeah, Linda Blonell book. Oh, I love that. There you go. So Putra, I'm not a fortune teller, no. I'm new here. Oh, MTK, Sierra Leone. I love that. Welcome, welcome. I think, did your country had a couple people in the Olympics, if I'm not mistaken? I was watching a little bit of the opening ceremony last night when I was out to dinner with a couple friends. I think it was Sierra Leone. Hi, Logan. My gate feels like, oh, gate 19. Yeah, well, gate 19, if that's actually real for you, like if you're actually referencing your chart, gate 19, gate of needs, because that's my rising sign. It's an Aquarius placement, so it's grounding. But yeah, it's interesting. I like talking about maybe I'll do a little bit of yin. Sierra Leone, yeah. I have so many places that I want to go. Africa, I have not, as a continent, I have not been to yet. I guess I do. It's so funny. It's just because my eyes, like after I've been looking at the computer for so long, it looks super witchy, but I just like the candle. Or oh, Ivory Coast. Welcome, chill. I love that. Oh, from a guy on my Facebook page, name escapes me. He's doing a quick, oh, I don't even know what that is. Yeah, I'm a little, it sounds a little suggestive to say those 3 words together out loud. Minus the candles. I have to be careful on the internet. You never know. You never know what on this app. Oh, there you go, troublemaker. Oh my god, so we are both professional troublemakers, I guess. Oh, that was his book suggestion. Okay, there you go. Listen, I've had so many people of so many ages and so many places the last couple weeks because I've been on YouTube more. Yeah, it's been kind of crazy. Rebels with no cause, exactly. I'm from America. If you couldn't tell by my very American accent. Yeah. Will you go to India? I would love to at some point. I would love to see the Taj Mahal, 7 wonders of the world. One of my friends, who's a Virgo, went to Croatia, and he said it was actually the most beautiful place that he had ever been. So he loved Croatia. And I think, Jax, I don't know if you're still here. I know, my English is my very American accent. Hi, Ecuador. Yeah, I don't know. Reiki Marco is on TikTok. I don't know. I mean, I'm not on Facebook like that, but I don't know. There was a Flying Dragon was asking. I keep thinking of that movie. What is it? Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Whenever I say your your username, Flying Dragon Garden. I don't know if he's on Facebook like that, but maybe. Yeah. Yes, I've had Indian curry before in London and in the US, but who knows if like America is, I'm sure it's not like the original. But the other day on YouTube Live, I was asking all you guys because you were talking about being from, oh, Capricorn. So happy belated birthday, Holden, if I'm not mistaken. But I was asking because again, novelty is important to me as an Aquarius rising. So I've been doing this for a long time. Okay, there you go. Yeah. I've been doing this for a long time on TikTok, but I've pivoted over to doing more of like co-working sessions, but also a crossover of doing, dual streaming when I do readings on Saturdays. And, but it's as an Aquarius rising, right? Novelty. So I have a lot of people from, YouTube. You guys are from all different places. So I was like, tell me what your national dish is. And since I love like cooking, Goshen, there you go. I love cooking. I can try to make a different dish from all of your countries. Mura. Oh, I love that. Sounds like mural with the L removed. Dragonfly, my totem. I love that. Mura, that's beautiful. Yeah, Brenna was supposed to be an Irish name. And I've been to Ireland 4 times, and I have yet to have an Irish person, including my family in Ireland, initially say my name correctly. Yeah, absolutely. I love, like, unique names. And I feel like finding a unique name for, like, girls, because I have one friend that has 2 daughters, one named June and one named Luna, and we were talking about how, like, I feel like names for boys have been kind of easier in finding unique names than for girls. But I guess we could all go look at Nara Smith's page if you guys are familiar. Yeah. Aw, thank you, Chilson. Thank you. I'm glad you like it because I've heard those YouTube videos when people say that they listen to a unique and unconventional. Yeah. They say they listen to. You can listen to YouTube videos that simulate what it's like for a non-English speaker to hear what an English or American, not British English, but an American English accent sounds like. And I don't think it sounds very nice. So I'm glad that you like it, because I don't think it sounds very good. I'm sure you're whatever, or if that's your initial, I don't know what languages they speak where you're from, but I've been thinking about that as I had a couple people that were telling me they speak other languages. I don't watch any Bollywood movies, no. Yeah, I know. There's so many different types of names for sure. But it's funny because I don't know how to pronounce it out loud. I also, with your username alone, I'm like, I have to be careful with you over here, Holden. Get me in trouble. Also, Mercury in Pisces, like right now, that alone is getting people a little messed up with their words, making sure that you, like, people misconstruing things. I remember, and it just reminds me, I don't know, what the transits were. Yes. Well, hablo español un poco, and I've studied French in school too, so I like those two. My husband speaks Spanish. He's an ESL kid. Spanish is his first language. I haven't, let me know, just because they're not as popular, like, in America. I didn't have anybody like yourself that could recommend some good ones to me. I will watch a Bollywood movie tonight. What's your favorite Bollywood movie? And I will watch that. I can watch that tonight in my wind down time. Oh, that does reviews on Bollywood movies and such views like crazy. That's so cool. Doing reviews on gaming and movies, less than 400 views. That's so cool. Speaking fluently or just that I'm able to understand? Technically, I guess 3, but really only English is like what I understand. War good movie? Okay, I'll look for it to make sure because then I have to see if it's streaming, but I will look for that. And I will report back when I'm back on with you guys on Monday. But yeah, Latin, I know. I'm like, what's the next? Right now, my hobby of choice to go back to is sewing, and still practicing my Spanish with my in-laws. But I think my brain would explode with everything I have to balance right now if I tried to learn Latin at the same time. Too much data right here. Watch Prince of Tides. Aw. Your husband's profession is key. Prince. Duolingo. I tried Duolingo and all I remember is like Juan come manzanas, like yo como pan. Like all that basic. I'll practice, I guess, Prince of Tides. I'll practice my Spanish with the Super Bowl halftime show. Bye, Faith. Yeah, thank you so much. It was nice to see you. Hope you have a good rest of your night. But yeah, Duolingo helped a little bit, but I think like what I find more, it's like I learn. Thank you. I appreciate that, Makama. I find it's too noisy. Aw, you find maybe it's a little overstimulating. Yeah. Oh, what was I gonna say? But I find that it's so funny because I was saying this yesterday that my best friend in college is from, well, his family's from Mexico. And he was born and raised like San Diego area. And I learned like through his mannerisms, it's like his personality and mannerisms didn't change when he spoke English nor Spanish. But once my husband being Cuban, like Caribbean Spanish, and the Spanish that I knew from like my friend that was speaking Spanish from like with like a Mexican dialect, I guess, I don't know the proper word, was like 2 different languages. Yeah, it's very dark, especially because like it makes me look scary with the candle wherever the light is. Yeah. Flowers. Oh yeah, yes, in Latin, that's so true. Completely whole different Spanish, exactly. But it was funny because he would try to get away with saying things in Spanish to his roommate when he was like talking about other people in the room. And I was like, Pablo, I know what you're saying. He was like, you understand? I was like, yes, because I know your mannerisms. But yeah, I found that to be funny. I also just noticed that it's just getting dark out and it's almost 6 o'clock, which makes me very happy. The sun is in is in sight. But I'm going to wind down. If there's no other questions for the evening, I did dual stream. Yeah, I love that at times. Yeah, how was my last job? Yes, yes, yes. It's helpful. And just being an analytical person too, you know. But I'll stay on for another 6 minutes so that we're at the top of the hour to make it even. But if there's any comments, questions, curiosities, yeah, find food, enjoy. I hope you enjoy whatever you find to nourish yourself with. But it's that time for me as well. I can feel my body's wanting the nourishment. But thank you guys for being here. Yeah, thank you so much. I can go with the context of conversation and basic words in Spanish. Yes. Same with my in-laws too. The Greeks came from Mexico? I don't know. Is that true? What was are we talking about, like, I thought that we all came, you know, from Africa and then over. Are we talking Pangea era, Holden, or what? J'étudie français dans l'école. But j'étudie is not the proper context in the past. Let's see. What is, I don't remember. We dans l'école? You know, say. I'll switch back and forth between Spanish and and French with the few words that I know. But I do love French. Like French, like it sounds very beautiful. Yeah, and understanding the mannerisms of people is also very important. I especially like now that I understand more of my like in-laws mannerisms, I see that more so. Yeah, so my GM would know. I knew if what was said, especially about me, my face speaks first. Yes, absolutely. You're like, can't really hide anything here. Can't hide anything behind the scenes. Oh, now that the aliens brought the Mexicans to Greece. Well, no, that doesn't make sense. You said the Greeks came from Mexico, but then how? That's the reverse of what you just said, the opposite. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? I don't know how we got here, when we got here, why we're here, dinosaurs, all those fun kinds of things. All that, my brain is going to explode if I try to think of anything too existential. I don't speak German, no. Not opposed to it, but I haven't had a need for it yet. But yeah. I'll be back on a little bit on Valentine's Day in the afternoon. It seems like 2:30 overall feels like a good time. There you go. Sprechen Sie Deutsch. What is it? Deutsche? I'm not going to try to pronounce that. Sorry. I need food. But I have, for those of you that are over on TikTok, I've been on live doing co-working sessions and chatting in the afternoon from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern. My body has preferred that transition in my circadian rhythm, and then I'm on here on Saturdays, which is a much more inclusive time for a lot of you guys, especially my Patreon crew, from 2:30 Eastern to 4:30 Eastern. So sometimes, like today, I get a booking on a Saturday in the afternoon for a reading, so I will, you know, make the appropriate schedule adjustments for that moving forward to make sure that works. But yeah, just in the transition. But if you guys have not yet followed me over on the tube of you and you like to be on there in the afternoons, you can join me there too. Same username and same picture. But do you not think German is a beautiful language? I don't have any opinion about it here nor there. I mean, I think all languages have their perks. It's definitely a very clunky language, but I don't know enough. Everything sounds angry in German. So I feel like there's always that heated element to it, but I don't have an opinion about it either way. But yeah, I'm going to sign off for the night then, if there's no comments or anything along those lines. I'm sending you a hug back, Holden. And thank you guys for being here, Ellington. Thank you, Ty, Nicole, and Jacqueline, for getting a reading with me today. It was so nice to see you guys and to be in this space and with my creepy looking candle at the same time. But I will be back. YouTube, I will see you guys Monday. TikTok, I will see you guys on Saturday. And then obviously every day at 7:30, at least once a day, I'll be posting a couple more videos about business and things like that for a workshop that I'm going to be doing at the end of this month. So you guys will see that there in the upcoming week. But love to all you guys. I'll see you later, TikTok.